think it's great to empower women and talk about it.
I want to have an honest conversation.
We have to give ourselves a break, and we have to take a breath.
Like, I'm not perfect, but there isn't much I won't try.
Some days it works,
Some days it doesn't.
CNG Media.
So we're going to talk about a lot of good stuff today.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm excited that you finally decided to say yes.
Okay.
You don't have to be scared. So we're just going to talk when we talk at Thatcher's. And we
Okay.
get into our conversations there. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Yeah. So thank you for doing my logo.
You're welcome.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited. Good.
Yes.
I'm glad.
So I can't wait to now, do some merchandise when the time comes with you.
Perfect.
So it was really awesome working with you. So I think one of the things that I like about you that gravitates me towards you when we do see each other, even though we don't really hang out as much as I would like.
Well, we will now.
We will now. Is I feel like we're in the same part in our life right now. Not just age-wise, right? And we're almost like reinventing ourselves.
Yep.
And accepting ourselves for who we are. So you have 3 companies?
I have 2.
2. So let's talk a little bit about the Moments Market, because that's your designer part,
Yes,
right? With
yep.
your logos and branding. And how did you start that?
Well, I always did things for people. I always helped people out with their logos and even styling people. And as I had my full-time design job, and when
That you
COVID
still have, or you no longer have that?
No, this was my design job in the city, full-time, full-time designer there. And actually, when COVID hit, I had a pretty big freelance gig lined up, and then the whole company pretty much went under. They got rid of me, all the freelancers, and that was rough because my husband does flooring, and we were like, no one's going to want flooring in their house. Nobody's going to want people to come in their house, and then now I don't have my job. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Scary
times.
Then, oh my God, crazy.
Yeah.
Like we were those people that were like, oh my God, we're the people that everyone feels bad about. Like, what are we going to do? So then I started one company with a friend of mine. We started working on that, our own label called Lash Tracks, and then I started just doing things for other people in order to make money for that company. And now that's just sort of blown up, conspired, it's just out of control. I started doing restaurants, logo branding for them, branding for people, and it's just been ongoing now.
So it's
from
like,
then on. And I just keep saying yes to all these projects. Everybody keeps coming up to me, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm just like, sure. Never did that before, but okay.
You'll figure it out.
I'm figuring it out. And I'm basically taking all of the things that I've learned in my whole entire life, now that I'm
You can say it. I'm older than you. I'm older than you, so you can say it.
And I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to make my life better, my children's life better, my family life better? I need to feel happy in doing what I'm doing. So I just applied all the things I learned from my parents and my teachers, not all of them, just a couple of them. And they're just in my brain, in my head, and I'm just taking, and my jobs and certain bosses, and just taking all of the things that I learned from them that I used to, in my company, in the jobs that I was in, would do for their company. Now I'm just doing it for
yourself.
myself. And I never had that. And I feel like, oh my gosh, I feel so good that I'm doing it for myself, but ultimately I'm helping other people.
But I think
that makes any sense.
That makes
Do you know what I
total
mean?
sense. I feel that has to do with the age that we're in.
Yes,
Because-
absolutely. I would never have done this in my 20s.
No, I mean, we're just partying in our
No,
20s.
well,
We don't
100%.
know what we're doing.
No.
And then we
Not
decide
at
to
all.
get
It's
married.
like, just work, give me the money so I can use it to go out.
Correct. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
Such good
I
times,
know,
though.
I know, it's so fun.
And now I'm like,
Oh, thank
it's
God.
10 o'clock, time
Well,
for bed.
yes, and
Yeah.
now I feel like I was this person in my 20s working,
Mm-hmm.
had a great job, making good money, going out, having the best time. Then all of a sudden, I have kids,
Mm-hmm.
great, wonderful. But now I'm at this age where I'm like, all right, they're old enough. Now I got,
Yeah.
now I'm good. Now I got to get back. Let's dance in the bars. Like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm
You
at
can,
this age.
just not as often.
I'm just like, now
Listen,
I'm like,
going
all right,
out
we're
tonight.
back. We're back.
I'm
And now
going out
like,
tonight, and dinner reservations
Yes.
are 8:15.
Okay, that's late.
That's so late. And then I think the DJ comes on at 9.
Well, at least you're going to a DJ. That's fun.
Yeah, I need a good dance
Good
night.
for you. I want to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should.
Okay, done.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about.
I know.
I think dancing is great.
Yes,
we have
that
to
was
do
my
our,
other
we
thing.
have to do the class.
Yes.
Because we've put it off for 3 weeks now.
No, we're doing it.
We have to do the class.
Well, that's another thing. I used to be a hip hop dancer, but like I'm embarrassed to say that at this
Why?
age. I'm like,
why?
I just,
I took a hip hop class.
it's like just
a
what
few
I
years
did
ago.
forever, and now I'm like, oh my god, is that weird?
No, it's not weird. I took a hip hop class years ago.
Yeah.
And then I watched the video and I can't hip hop dance. I think I can.
Yes, you can.
No, not like that. Not like step one. No.
So
I
it's
mean,
no hip hop.
yeah, whatever. But going back to what you were saying, I loved what you said as far as now that you're here in our wonderful age of mid 40s.
I'm trying to come.
It's a lot of
with the
acceptance.
wonderful word. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Listen, I got a year.
getting there.
I'm turning 49
Getting there.
on
Okay.
Monday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the fact that 50 is only a
Yeah.
year away, I think is a little scary, but I'm actually very excited about it because when I was turning 46 and I felt a little bit of like, oh, something's off, or
Right. That's.
I want to do something for myself.
But
Not
what
that
is it?
What is it?
Because you're so used to doing things for children and other human beings.
Yeah.
It's very hard to separate yourself from that.
Correct.
Because your whole being is about them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You lose yourself.
You lose yourself.
Yes.
And I don't want to say that to make it negative. It's not negative. You
It's
just
not negative.
actually do.
Yeah.
It's like sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No,
but
no,
you
no,
were saying
no,
something.
no. That's true though, because you're right. We're in our 20s,
Yeah.
trying to figure ourselves out. Our 30s, typically getting married, having your babies,
Right,
which
right.
my 30s were honestly a shit show.
Right.
You know, there was never blown out hair unless
Right,
it was
no,
a
God, no,
holiday.
I still don't,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and then now the 40s
Yeah.
are really good. So, and
just
my
getting
later
there.
40s are really good because I'm doing the work
Yes. Yeah.
with mentally accepting myself.
Yes.
And really looking at what I'm good at, like you said, right? Like all the traits you've learned from your various jobs
Yes.
and your
Applying
own
it.
personal skills
Right.
that you have and what you're good at and what you're not. And I like people.
Oh my gosh. Same.
I
I
like
always say that. And when people complain about people, it bothers me because I'm just like, it's just a story to tell. Like I'll tell my children that if you're upset by somebody, it's okay. Just take it in. Just take it in
Process.
because it's even if it's negative, you're going to learn from that. You're going to either learn that this is somebody that I would like to hang out with, or you're going to learn that it's somebody that I don't want to, and that's okay. Not everybody is for everybody.
that is
And that's
correct.
what makes the world go round.
I'm
And
not for
You
everybody.
just have to accept people for who they are and let it go. Nobody can let it go.
Nobody can let it go, but
That's
it's
the
hard to
problem.
let it go
You
because I
can't.
think it's hard.
Everybody wants to be like you, but you got to just accept people for all their differences
Yes,
in order to be okay.
and accept them for who they are,
Accept them for
and
who they
leave
are. That's
them
it. Yes.
where
And
they
that's it.
are.
You do you. That's
But
fine.
then what do you do when they're not bringing you joy?
You just
Like,
keep
have
them at
you-
a distance. Like there's
Yeah.
people that I love. I see good in everybody, which
Mm-hmm.
is I like that about myself, but it's also to a fault because sometimes people walk all over you. That
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. But I like to see the good in everybody. And if there's somebody that's not really for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. I just take a little bit of a step back so then I can appreciate
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the good and then I have a good time with them.
yeah,
And that's fine.
like that.
They don't need to be my soul friend.
Yeah.
All my soul friends know who they are. They know who they are.
Have you met? Do you have a core group of girls that are your friends?
Yes, I have. So my core group of girls, my college girls, and then my high school and childhood friends, I still have that they're a little bit more like scattered. We're not like one group, but they're a little bit more scattered. And I always feel like your soul people are the ones that are rooting for you.
Yeah, those are my high school friends. Like, I'm very lucky. I am still extremely close with my high school friends, and some of them go back to grammar school.
That's amazing.
So,
I have
and I've
that,
met
but
other
they're
people
scattered. Yeah.
in my life as I'm getting
Yeah.
older that I enjoy friendships.
Yes.
But those girls are my girls.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that, and I feel like
you have to cherish that.
you do,
and nurture
and
that.
you forget about it. Not you don't forget about it, but like sometimes I don't realize. Oh my God, like this person, they're like rooting for me. Anything that I'm doing, if there's a logo, if there's anything, and if they're commenting or calling me or, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and then promoting me to
Such
me,
a good feeling, right?
I'm just like, oh my God, like that is so great.
But do you need it? Like, are you at a point in your life where, let's say, your Moments Market or the other business that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, are you doing it hoping to get some sort of validation, or
Well, I feel like I don't want it to sound like a negative thing with validation. I feel like in all of my design jobs, I've always designed and did all these things and I never really got full recognition. Or I had some bosses that were proud of me and would say so, and I stayed there because of them, and I appreciated them. But I felt like a lot of my companies, and being in the apparel industry, they would almost take my ideas and run with it for themselves, and that destroyed me for many
sure.
years, and I didn't realize it did until I'm this age.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, wait, that wasn't okay. That wasn't right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I'm like, you know what?
I think that's one of the things I do like about being middle-aged is I'm more confident now.
Yes.
And in standing up for myself.
100%.
And I like that. So let's talk about what are like 3 things that you absolutely love about this age, and like
Well,
or is it easier to talk about the things that we don't like
know,
turning mid-40s or late 40s?
I feel like I'm like just about starting to be okay with it and liking it. But I haven't,
40s,
haven't been.
Give yourself a couple more years.
I feel like I'm like, I feel like, especially with my career, I have been searching and searching and searching for a balance. Being with my children, I want to be with them all the time, like all the time. I annoy them. They're like, all right, and now, and I figured out how can I work. And ultimately, I'm working not for me, but for them. You know what I mean? I want to provide things. My husband, same thing. We want to provide things for them, but at the same time, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. But I forgot what I was saying.
It's okay. Do you wear readers? Are you there yet?
Almost.
Do you have brain fog?
Yes. I mean, for the last couple of years, I actually told a doctor of mine, I went for like a physical, and I said, something's wrong with me. I feel like there's like a blanket over my brain, or like it's bruised. Something isn't right. And she's like, that's brain fog. You're going through anxiety, like all these things. And I'm like,
are you going through that M word yet or no?
I don't think so.
I'm not either.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the blood work says I'm good.
Yes, I don't.
But all the other things, there's a few things going on that I'm like, well, maybe. I mean, and then you could drive yourself crazy Googling everything, and you're reading this, and I have 2 symptoms here, but no symptoms there, and...
Well, it's going back to like whole like midlife and all this stuff. I feel like I'm just finally like, okay, my kids are getting older. I can get back to where I was. But I'm like, but like now I'm in like the menopause stage. Like what?
Not yet.
I mean, not yet, but I kind of am.
There. Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm ready to go back to who I was, because I feel like even though I'm a mom, I identify
But moms
myself as
now-
a designer first.
Yes.
And I love to dance, and you
Yeah,
know what
see,
I
but
mean? I'm that first, and then I became a mom, and now I'm ready to go back to that, and I'm like, now I'm the same.
I love that. See, you figured that out already. Like, you're gonna go back to being a designer. I'm not there yet.
But you are here.
Well,
this is this. This
Well, I
is.
don't know what this is.
This is
I don't
the
know.
same
You know,
thing.
you know when you're like, fake it till you make it.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm doing
What
here.
do you think
so.
I've been doing? Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've said yeah.
But you know, I
like-
think I'm waiting for that dunk over my head. Like, okay, you're good at this. You
Yes.
should do this.
Right.
And there's no dunk yet, but I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
Getting there. It's all a process.
I mean,
guess.
it's same for me. I just feel like I've just been doing all the things I've known to do and trained to do. I just keep assume position kind of a thing. Even though I lose my job, I just still kept designing, not making a dime.
You didn't
Just
give up on
design,
yourself.
Just keep going because I don't know anything else.
I don't either.
And even when I had my daughter, you know, I was a full-time designer. I was actually in labor working because I was in those kinds of companies. And
You worked outside of the home,
I was full-time designer.
but you were able to work home, or did you have to go into the office when you were pregnant?
No,
with
I
her?
was in the office. I had to travel like the world while I was pregnant, and that's when I realized I can't. If I'm going to be a mom, I can't do that as
How
well.
unfair is the world to us?
So I tried forever. My daughter's 14, almost 15 now. I tried so long to talk to these companies and be like, listen, I want to be this person. I am this person. I'm a hard worker. I will stay up till for 2 days in a row because I'm an insomniac. Like I will do all the hard work. I just
give me
really
this.
want to be with my child. And as a mom, and I never was somebody that was like dying to have baby. Like I never really was that kind of a person. I just, you know, did it, and I was like, "This is what people do. All right, let's just, all right, let's go for it." But I wanted to just be with my kid, and as a mom, it's like they're part of us. They're
course.
literally part of us. And when people tell a mother, "Stop worrying,"
Yeah, it's impossible. You worry, it's impossible.
So irritating. I can't. It bothers me. It's like they're part of. They're literally part of, like everything. So when they're at a party or going somewhere, part of my organ, like part of my like heart, is there.
And they have phones. We didn't have phones when we went out.
I know. Oh my gosh, my poor parents. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, because they let us go and
Yes.
cross the fingers.
They used to
for
wait
us
up for me, and I feel so bad now.
Do you have siblings?
I have a sister, 2 years older.
Did you guys sneak out of the house together? We won't answer that question, just in case mom watches.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
But I was still a good girl though.
Yeah.
But I did know that my parents were very strict.
Yeah. You enjoyed your 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Yeah.
I lived in Hoboken with my sister. We had the best
So
time.
fun.
I'm so happy I did that. I recommend that to anybody.
Yeah.
Now my niece is doing it, and I'm like, so happy for her.
Yeah.
It was
I
the
think you
best,
have to
best time of my life.
Yeah.
My 20s, because I was making good money. I was finally like established. I'm a designer. I'm the, you know what I mean? I can now
Have fun.
live on my own. I had no idea how to do laundry.
But we figured it out,
But
right?
I remember I brought my laundry home to my parents. My sister and I did. And my dad's like, yeah, no, you're not doing laundry here. We're like, what? It's like, no, you live on your own. You figure it out.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
the-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
Although the laundromat is actually easier because you
And I did that,
stack
yeah.
them in 3 loads and then they're done in 20 minutes.
it's
versus,
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
recommend
that's
that
my
too.
20s.
That's one thing I wish I would have done. Maybe
Yeah.
is live on my own a little bit before getting married.
yes.
But you know,
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
yeah, that's great. And now we're here.
And now we're here. But I still feel that like I'm that person.
I do too. I look in the mirror
That's
and I
why,
see.
you know, I'm like, to my kids, I'm like, guys, I'm cool. Like, and they're like, no.
No.
I'm like, oh, come on.
That's
I'm
why
like,
we have
no.
to hang out together because
Yes.
we think we're
Well,
cool. Our kids
remember when
don't.
we were cheer moms?
Yes.
I'm like, she's my girl right
Yeah.
here. But then COVID messed everything up.
COVID messed everything
You know,
up.
because if you are a cheerleader, you're going to get COVID.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Listen. Let me not talk about COVID because
no, that's a
I
whole
need
other thing.
followers. I don't want to get unfollowed.
Yes, I still feel like I'm just finally getting out of all of that. Like we went through.
Well, that did a lot of damage to
crises.
people.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I went through like crazy stuff.
Do you have? Do you feel now that you're a little older, a little wiser, you're figuring all this out about yourself? Like, were you a people pleaser?
Yes.
Are you
Like,
still a people pleaser?
Yes, I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit better.
It's
like
hard.
just recently.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to be so many different people and just making sure everybody's okay. Because if I see that everybody's okay, then I'm okay.
You know, that's actually, really should be the other way
I
around.
know, but
we're not
didn't
taught
realize.
that.
No.
You know,
Right.
but I will say my grandmother always told me that. Make sure you take care of yourself because your family needs you. And quite honestly,
just recently
she used to tell me
thinking
that when I
Yeah.
first had kids,
Yeah.
et cetera. And I was like, okay.
Yes.
And I brushed it off,
Yes.
honestly.
Yes. Well, because
Now-
didn't make sense then.
It
but
didn't
now
make sense.
Yeah.
No, because it's like you have kids, you got to do this, you got to
Well,
do that.
I realized that if I'm not okay, they're not okay.
Right.
So I need to figure out how to be okay.
Yeah,
Because
and
I
that-
have not been okay. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
last couple of years, I don't know where I have not been okay. And I feel like I'm just kind of,
Is that what led you
Getting
to
me.
start Mind Your Mind?
yes.
Do you want to talk about that, or should
Sure.
we leave that for
No,
another?
that's okay.
Yeah, okay. So tell me about
it's
that.
a little bit of a long story. I'm going to try to shorten it, but during COVID, sorry to bring up COVID,
That's
but
all
my
right.
mother actually fell into a psychosis because of the stress level of COVID. And my dad, my sister, and I had to take care of her. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life because
sure.
it was the first time I actually had to take care of my parent. They're still my parents. They take care of me still. So it was, and long story short with all that, the most, like the hardest thing, and nobody really can understand what went on because we weren't allowed to see anybody, talk to anybody. There was no I just wanted to like hug my friends and needed like support, and I didn't have it because nobody could. If you talked on the phone, you got, you know what I mean? So anyway, long story short,
how is
with
she
that,
now?
she's amazing, wonderful, has no memory of anything. We had to get her into a hospital, and she had to get shock treatment, actually, and it saved her life. And
good.
she is amazing, better than ever, funnier. Like, she's a really funny person, and she's great. And because I had to go through so much research to get her help, because nobody really knows what when your brain is hurt or damaged or whatever, because everyone sees a show, a doctor show, whatever, and they just shock your heart, or they
Pump you with or prescribe a
or
medicine or
just
whatever the
stitch you
case may be.
Stitch
Yeah.
up and fix
Go
a
home,
fix a
yeah.
broken bone and blah blah blah. Nobody sees what can happen if your brain breaks, kind of a thing. So we had no idea what was going on, and the whole stigma of a mental situation is, so bad. And I don't see it that way. I just feel like it all starts with your brain. If your brain isn't okay, nothing else is okay.
Right.
So anyway, she's luckily, it was amazing. It was the hardest thing ever. I felt like it was 5 years of my life, but I think it was a couple of months. But so I started doing a lot of research on getting her help, my dad and my sister and I, and then I just kept getting pop-ups on things and,
Because the phone's listening.
yeah, well, yeah. And I started donating to this company, NAMI, and National Alliance of Mental Illness. And I was like, I just feel like I want to do something more. I want to do something more. So I trademarked the phrase "mind your mind." So be kind to your mind, like mind the gap, like watch the gap. Mind your mind. So so now.
So what are you doing with it?
I kind of took a break on it because I'm still getting it trademarked. But
Are you looking to do like support groups?
I'm selling the shirts and merchandise, and then I'm going to donate back
Okay.
to the cause.
Okay.
So I've,
I love that idea because one of the things that I want to do that stemmed from, this podcast and, having these conversations with all these moms and women is I want to do, and maybe we can talk, off camera and maybe work together, is I want to start, I don't want to say a support group, but a group for moms, where we can really lean on each other regardless of the stage that you're in.
It helps so much when I hear other moms and you're like, oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, me too. Because we're supposed to act a certain way, be a certain way. We're supposed to be happy about our bodies, but not show our bodies. We're supposed to not say this and not say that and not do this and not do that. But then when moms talk, we're like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. I feel the same way. So I love that. That's a great idea.
So I definitely want to talk to you about that.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we could partner up or, do something.
Yeah.
So I know you're an avid exerciser.
Yes, I like to exercise. Yes, I don't know if I'm but I do like to exercise. Yes.
Oh, I don't like to exercise.
I do.
I like to look like you without
look
having
like me?
to. Yeah, without having to exercise. Well, you look fit.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I have always exercised. I do. I fell a little bit off. I'm getting myself back. But it's great for mental reasons too.
Yes.
Like years ago, over 10 years ago, I was going through so many things and tragedies and crises, and I was just like, I need to do something. And
that was your outlet?
Yeah. And it still is, even though I don't want to go.
Oh, I don't want to do it.
I don't want to go, but I know what it feels like after. Like I purposely went today, this morning, because of me being here.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I need to feel good about myself that day, even if I don't know if I look okay. But it's it's even about what you wear too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I have a sweater on because my arms are.
Well, I could have worn a fancy thing, but I'm also a t-shirt kind of girl.
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of how you feel about yourself. And so working out was a lot more mental reasons, and also being in the apparel industry, I had to look a certain way back then, and it's like it's exhausting.
It really is exhausting because it comes at us from all different directions.
I remember a boss of mine I was in my 20s though, and she's just like, she called me into the office. I was like, oh shoot, am I getting fired? And she's like, let me see. Talk to me about your outfit. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is this. She's like, I love it. Do you want to go to LA next week? I'm like, okay. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
But you don't want to go back to that, traveling.
No. I'm starting to miss it though, because I felt important. So it was, and I didn't realize that then. I just went. They're like, Melissa, can you go to China to do all these things? And I'm like, okay, that's just what I have to do. It's just part of my job.
Yeah.
And then now that I look back and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I
get it now.
Yeah, because you felt
now I miss it.
It was an important job.
Yeah, I just, at the time, that just was my job. It's just what I did.
But looking back,
yes. I'm like, oh, okay. I actually was important.
You're still important.
But I've been taking care of children, which I love, which I never
Yes,
would.
I know exactly how you feel.
But now they don't need me as much, which I am devastated over.
You are. I'm not.
I am.
I'm not.
Oh, I am. My husband is just like, will you stop going to get them food?
But what do you mean, they don't need you as much? Because I still make lunch for them every goddamn day.
That. Yeah, no.
And then when they have a day off, that's a day off for me.
I mean, I am exhausted by it, but the only thing that makes me appreciate it so much is because I know it's going to be gone very soon. I was obsessed over wanting to ski with my kids this year. And oh my God, almost didn't happen because the weather was really bad. And the thing that made me feel so happy that we ended up doing it was my son asked me to put his gloves on him. Literally, I was like, okay.
And
Because
he's
I
how
think
old?
this is at 12.
Okay.
Because I think that's it.
Well,
That's might be the
listen.
last time I ever put, and that's where the moments market is. Like,
Yeah.
cherish your moment, because that might have been the last time I put my son's
Because that's hard,
gloves on. But
because-
those are weird things I think about.
but what I'm learning is I've taught my kids to do certain things for themselves.
Yes.
So now they don't need me for certain things, right?
Right. Well, I'm
Even though they still
slowly
need me
doing
for
that.
the
Yes.
lunch. Listen.
Yes.
Do I love making the lunches? No.
No,
Am I happy?
I hate making
Am I
lunches.
happy that they eat the same goddamn
Yes.
sandwich I make for them and they
Well,
come home
that's
with a
good.
great sandwich? I'm like,
Yes.
yes. Love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
When my kids eat my food, I'm like obsessed with it,
Yes.
but that might be an Italian thing.
No, it makes me feel
Yeah.
good too. And I don't even find myself
Yeah.
to be like a great cook.
No, me
And
either.
I feel like my dinners are on rotation.
Yeah. Same.
And because I love food.
Yeah.
But I have to be in a mood for like.
Yeah.
You know, my kids, I put the same shit in front of them and then they eat it.
Yeah.
But them not needing us,
It's bittersweet.
it's bittersweet.
bittersweet.
Because now it's like, okay, we have time for ourselves.
Yes, which
Well-
I feel that's the good part, and I feel
But
great
who am
about
I?
that. But now I'm
Who am I?
over 40, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like
We're going to take hip hop on Monday.
done.
Yes, 'cause
now
it's
I gotta
my
get myself,
birthday.
Yes.
So
on
we
Monday.
on Monday.
Okay, that's what we're doing.
At 7:00.
Okay.
We'll just go make asses out of
Done.
ourselves
No,
and
we're
have
not.
some
We're gonna
fun.
be amazing.
So I got a couple, speaking of dancing, I've been thinking about doing this again. I got not random women, but women that I know, again, that I normally don't hang out with. And we did a dance night out.
Love that.
And now that I know that you love to dance, I've been thinking of reaching out to them again,
Yeah.
saying, listen, we got to go out dancing
do it.
again. I'm going to include you in that because sometimes you just
I want to
need...
teach class. I used to teach class.
Oh, that's fun.
So
I
I
will
want to teach
take
a course.
it.
Yeah.
And then you could see my two left feet.
Yes. No, I'm sure you're amazing.
No. Listen, that's the other thing I've realized as I'm getting older is I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And I'm okay with both.
I think dancing would have been my true passion. I loved hip hop dancing. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I realized that's probably not the best avenue to take.
Yeah, but it could be a fun avenue.
Like, I thought I was going to be a backup dancer
To J-Lo.
for J-Lo or,
know,
or
me too.
Beyonce. I really thought
I
that.
wanted J-Lo. I've had visions.
Yes.
J-Lo and Janet Jackson, actually.
Oh God.
Yes,
She was great.
I know. I am going to see J-Lo. And
Are
I can't
you?
wait. I can't wait. Yes. I want to thank you for coming
Yes,
on. I
thank
mean, I
you.
feel like we could continue talking and
Yes,
talking
yeah,
and
yeah.
talking, but it was so great.
It was so great.
I'm so...
Oh, I have a present for you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm
Sorry.
so happy for you about all these endeavors that you're doing. And I want to thank you for
it.
doing my logo. Oh, right here?
On
oh,
air.
God. Oh, that's so cute. Thanks. Because
welcome.
that's what we are.
I know.
And we should
Yes.
own it.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yes, girl boss.
There you go.
Yes, thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
This was fun.
this was so fun, for sure.